Happy Wednesday, everybody. My name is Dean.
My name's Tyler.
And it is time for 13.3. Are we just going to forget about 13.1b because that whole thing was just a mess?
Or 13.2, gone. Right on to 13.3.
And on Monday, if you guys didn't catch it, the whole fucking... They're calling it a hot fix, right? It got reverted. So, like, a period of time, people were, like, rushing those crit items, and they're like, why the fuck am I not doing damage? It's because somehow the whole fucking patch got reverted.
I think there was more than that. I think there was, like... and I don't know how much of it was meme, because I saw so many people saying, oh, you can do this now, you can do this. I'm like, okay, is this meme? I saw one that I'm pretty sure was a meme showing Deathfire Grasp on it. And I was like, no fucking way.
No, that was
I did see one with Twisted Tree Line popping back up. Couldn't tell if that was a meme or not, because it looked pretty good if it was photoshopped.
Everything that I read was just literally whatever 13.1b was
back.
That went back, or that didn't. It was like as if that never happened. But luckily, surprisingly, they fixed it pretty quickly. It was like
they did actually. It was fixed within a matter of hours.
Yeah. So
which makes me wonder what the fuck happened.
Riot doesn't know what the fuck. No one knows what the fuck happened. So
sure, that's fair.
But yeah, we are here with 13.3. This should be a pretty interesting one. I know we got ASOL, and then the Ari visual updates are coming out. Let's see, those are probably the big things. Umbral
Glaive's a big thing here.
Oh,
Radiant Virtue isn't quite as big. Actually, I thought Radiant Virtue was going to be worse. But the Umbral Glaive, I thought that was huge. And then the round of buffs is pretty good for everybody. It's a pretty nice little leveling buff, I guess I would call it.
So yeah, we'll make sure.
And then of course, is it Heartbreaker Vi? Heartache Vi?
I'm stoked. Though
yeah, that's got Dean written all over it, dude.
I don't know why she needs a second Valentine's Day skin, but I'll take this one because the original one kind of sucks.
What's the original one?
Isn't it Heartthrob?
Is it? I don't remember.
Or hold on, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, she has another one, and it's like people are like, "Why the fuck?" What is it called? It's Heartbreaker Vi is the other one.
Okay, that's random. Why I had it confused.
But this one, I like this one better. Looks much better. But yeah, it's another here, no there. But
right.
First thing I'm gonna say to you, and this is important because we always mention this, and this was popping up more than usual on the subreddit, the thread. There are a lot of errors in the writing in this, a lot of grammatical errors, and a lot of things that just don't make sense.
Right. I kind of peeked through this one. I usually don't always have time to peek through these. I did peek through this one. I was like, this looks weird. And like, just right off the bat, the first thing that looks funky as hell is the Amumu Valentine's Day skin is not it's just a regular rectangle like normal instead of like a vertical rectangle. But the Caitlyn and Vi ones are vertical. I didn't really understand.
I mean, I guess
why that was different.
They're larger than him. It is very odd.
It looks very weird in the composition. Like who?
Right. It's not going to look that small when you're loading into game.
That's what I'm saying. It's like who's a graphic designer, dude? Fire that dude.
But
this is like what is like? It looks like if they put 2 or 3 or 2 more skins under here or 1 more skin and made it like they stacked them and then they had the 2 because these are the big marquee ones. Like it would look better, but like it's just one randomly there. It doesn't fit. Doesn't fit.
But no, yeah, maybe they edited and fixed some things, but there was a alarmingly amount of people that were saying, does no one proofread this? And I hadn't seen that before. I've never seen people calling that out.
For over a year.
So yeah, exactly. We've been complaining about it. So get ready. We're probably going to be confused here and there. So
Yep.
And then before I guess we start, the only other thing I saw is they made this quotation right here. As I said, unfortunately, 13.3 will be delayed. It is coming out on Thursday, the 9th, not tomorrow, not the 8th.
Wow.
They said they had to push it back a day.
Well, that's probably to fix the code or some shit, so that's all right.
I hope so.
Riot.
I just hope they fixed all the shit that says like Eclipse says 0 Omnivamp. Like I don't need to see that. Just get rid of that. Fix it.
Right.
Right.
I wonder if Well, we'll see what happens. I
We'll
think
see.
that has to do with the code getting stolen. They
The
weren't able to
terrorist
actually
attack.
fix it. Yeah, exactly. The riot terrorist, the Tencent terrorist.
Oh my god. All right, let's get into it.
Anyways, oh, real quick, we did just put up another gameplay video the other
Oh
day. In
yeah,
case
good
you
call.
missed
Good
it,
call. Let's go.
that's up there. With followed shortly after with the bonus episode, where we
Right.
talked about IE and Navori Quick Blades and why you should be building those. Except that didn't count for Monday because of the patch issues. But check out the gameplay, the Freljord's finest.
Yep, we got it on screen right now. Yeah, we kicked some ass. The Rise was really good on our team. We kind of hard carried
Yes.
this complaining Lucian.
Yeah, we
But-
did. Oh man, I've never played such a rough Lucian Braum lane, but I don't remember what their lane was, but it was actually grossly oppressive and like not fun to play into. So I understand the frustration when you're playing a Lucian and you can't just go balls to the wall early on. So
Yeah,
check that gameplay out. It was a fun one.
Yep, YouTube search in quotations according to low elo. You will find
Yep.
us. Sub to the channel, guys. We're trying to get that number up.
We'd love to.
There'll be another gameplay this week. Probably on the weekend. I'll start. I wanted to figure out a schedule of when to put those up. Probably on the weekend. But yeah, it's exciting.
Yeah, luckily
So-
we don't have to compete with the LCS on the weekend, so let's go.
Um,
Anyway, let's get into this patch, dude. Right off the bat, we got a huge change. Tell me about your favorite fucking Astral Dragon.
Yeah, so we're not going to go too in depth to this because we already kind of did like a reaction video. Now, granted, we didn't know what the numbers were, but there's, to save time, this could go on for a very long time. I was on PBE fucking around in a bot game. He feels really good. He's definitely going to be like, I think Roa is going to be the best mythic on this guy because you need a lot of mana. The scaling is really good. It's the roaming, the W, it used to be his E, right? The flight was his E. It's his W now. Astral Flight. Yeah. It feels way better. You can cast abilities while flying. It's sick. Go look at the numbers yourself. Nothing popped out to me that looked like stupidly OP. They might, he might have a lower win rate, but I think that's what they want when these big changes come through so they can slightly buff.
Right.
But yeah, he felt good. He looks sick. I don't know if you saw it, but this morning they released a video, like another
I didn't
teaser
see
video. And you remember his original one and like when he came out 2016 where he's like
kind of.
he's like monologuing over like Targon or something and then it reveals him. It was sick. And this one is like very similar to that. It's fucking sick.
I'm gonna check it out after we finish recording this patch note.
It's awesome. But yeah, guys, go look at all the numbers yourselves. He's gonna be fun to play.
Listen, like Dean said, what you need to know is he's a mana intensive champion. At like max rank, looks like all of his abilities take 100 mana
100
except for
yep.
his Q, because his Q's it's not a toggle, it's a hold.
You gotta hold
and
it,
it goes per second. Everything else at max rank is gonna take 100 mana. That is a lot. And just remember that, the black hole executes, and you will be building up. What is the
Stardust?
Stardust. Thank you. You'll be building up Stardust to consume it on a big cast of your ultimate. So we thought originally.
That was right. Yeah.
Yeah, we weren't sure originally exactly how it was. I thought maybe it could be like Syndra's, or it could be like you're constantly collecting them. You're constantly collecting them. They go away once you consume them. So that's really what you need to know that we didn't know in the previous video. If you want to know more, check out the previous video or the previous episode on Aurelion Soul. There's much more in-depth episode that we did on that. So I don't want to bore you guys to death if you've already listened to it. Unless you got anything else to add to Aurelion Soul, let's move down to the Mummy.
Tell me about it.
The Mummy. Q mana cost increased and E base damage decreased. Let's see. Amumu did get some nice buffs at the end of last season, but he's clearly really fucking strong, especially with the double bandage toss. So they are bumping up his mana by 5, or his mana cost by 5 at all ranks. So it was 40 to 60. It's now 45 to 65. And the Tantrum is getting a slight damage buff as well. It's going to be weaker earlier, but stronger later. So the damage early, it was 80 to 200 with a 50% AP ratio. It's now going to be 65 to 205 with a 50% AP ratio. So you're going to keep the same ratio. It's going to level out at rank 4. So just bear that in mind. He's going to be a little less damage heavy early, which is probably a good thing. Just make him a little bit better later, or maybe mid.
I know they said this is targeted for both jungle and support, but I think this is still targeting support.
More or less, yeah.
Just whenever I see mana costs on his queue, they do not want this guy played in lane. So
No.
yeah,
He already has a shit tier mana pool to begin with. That's the thing that sucks. Like, when you play him in the jungle, you're like, fuck, dude, mana's so fucking rough, you know?
I feel like he's OP. Just the any champion that can build demonic is really strong right now.
Yep.
I think I saw like at least for like pro play, like 9 out of the 10 best junglers are AP, and then like like half of that 9 can build demonic or radiant virtue or whatever. So yeah, he's pretty strong.
Yeah, I saw that he got some LCS play by Spica, and
It's exciting.
the thing with Amumu that makes him like even grosser with like demonic and stuff like that is his passive, where you just
True damage.
Yeah, you're converting some of that to true damage. So it's not only is it burn damage, which can be mitigated by your MR, like some of that is I think it's 10% of that actually turns into true damage, which you can't mitigate unless you have full on damage reduction.
Or yeah.
So that's pretty disgusting. He's a great Abyssal Mask user. I will always praise Abyssal Mask, but this dude is a really good Abyssal Mask user because not only, again, does he do true damage, he's lowering your MR, so the MR part is going to hit you a lot harder, or the magic damage is going to hit you harder as well. So still a strong champion. I think he's still probably viable. I don't know if he's the best option. I don't know if he's S tier. I think he's probably still maybe A tier, if I had to guess.
Up there, right.
Yeah. So anyways, I don't have anything else to add about him unless you do.
Nope. Annie, I saw that they were changing her a while ago.
Right.
But didn't read too much into it. So let's see. Passive is now fully charged on spawn. Now let me just stop there. That is insanely OP. Because with that before this, if you wanted to get a stun level 1, you had to take your W. So you can spam it, charge it. It being ready at level 1, oh my god.
Means you can get long range free Q stuff.
Yeah, you can start Q. Like, what the fuck? That's pretty big. That also feels like, sure, we'll get into what her AP ratio is, whatever that's changing, but like, that immediately tells me that she can probably be played more viably in support. Like, supporting Annie, come on, let's bring it back. But let's see, maybe
where's Annie bot at?
Right. I don't even know if that dude still streams.
I have no idea.
But let's see. Passive is not fully charged on spawn. Now it doesn't say. I guess it would have been OP if it like gave you the stun when you based. Maybe that doesn't matter. But because I know there's some champions, like I think Pantheon's passive, the 5 stacks. I think that fully stacks when you base. There's some champions like that. Whatever, it doesn't matter.
I don't remember. Yeah, I don't think hers stacks when you base. I think it's only when you spawn or respawn.
Starts the game. Okay, yeah, respawn. There you go. You're right. Okay, E shield strength increased. Okay, cooldown decreased. Retaliation damage and conditions adjusted. R Tibbers health, armor, magic resist, and movement speed increased. Holy shit, this sounds scary. Okay.
Yes, they're making her a fully fucking playable champion again. I mean, I haven't seen Annie in
right. It's a while. It's been a hot minute.
A year where someone's played her well.
So let's see. E Molten Shield. Shield strength was 40 to 220 with a 35% AP ratio. Now it is 60 to 220 with a 55% AP ratio.
Yeah.
That's, I mean, it starts out more early, levels out to the same at max, but another 20 AP ratio. Okay.
And we know 5% is everything, guys. So, I mean, really, what's 20%? But
four
more
times
than everything.
It's four times
everything, guys. 4 times everything, guys.
Cooldown was 14 to 10 seconds. Now it is 12 to 8 seconds. That big.
That's huge.
Retaliation magic damage, kind of like Thorns, was 20 to 60 with a 20% AP ratio. Now it is 30 to 90 with a 40% AP ratio. Holy shit.
Hold on.
New, when Molten Shield is active, enemies whose basic attacks hit the shield receive magic damage. That's what it was. Now, when Molten Shield is active, enemies whose basic attack and spells hit the shield receive magic damage. So
you got Spell Thorns.
Spell Thorns. And basic attacks. So,
and of course. And there's one last piece. You got to get the last caveat, because the last caveat makes this all make more sense.
Molten Shield will now only inflict damage against opponents once per target per shield. So if she gets hit once, it's only going to reflect it once.
So it used to, every time you hit her, you would take damage. It's now you hit her and you take damage the first time. And so they gave her more damage on it, but you can only be affected by it once. So it effectively weakens the shield. However, it's going to incentivize her to put it on Tibbers. I think if she puts it on herself, it automatically goes on Tibbers as well, because it can affect on hit for her and on hit for Tibbers, but only one time per
cast.
Yep.
Okay. All right. That's a pretty fair balance. I think.
Right.
That still seems pretty strong.
I think it's going to be overall weaker, personally, because you're only going to be able to be hit by it once. But the fact that it activates against spells is fucking huge, where it didn't activate against spells before. So, I mean, even if it's, you're talking 90, which she's probably going to have about 500 AP at some point. So, 40% of that's not 200. 300? No, that's 200.
Yeah, about 200.
Plus 90. So, you're going to take about 390 damage, and that's without any resistance factored in. So, you're probably really taking about 250 to 300 damage on hit with a spell or something like that. Like, that's considerable.
Yeah,
but I don't think it's as strong as it could be against like an AD.
No, right. So that's why. Okay, she could potentially be support, but it seems like obviously mid lane she has more income, higher AP.
Right. I felt like they didn't want to overpower her kit. Like if they put that in there, she would 100%. Like if you could be hit by it all the time, 100% that champion is support champion now and nothing else. But because they made it a one instance hit, then I think it leaves her in the mid lane, which is good. I think it's good.
I mean, yeah, it'll work. It sounds like she might even be. This might like categorize her in anti-mage, so like
slightly.
She potentially won't get blown up. And
I think she's kind of anti-assassin.
Sure.
Because with the stun, the way that stun works, it's really good on slippery champions like LeBlanc and Zed and whatnot. But we still have one more thing to go over on hers before we get too far.
Tibbers' health was 1,300 to 3,100 based on rank. It is the same base, but now it scales with 75% AP. So we're thinking close to, I mean, if you said 500, if she has about 700, we're looking maybe over 4,000 HP on this dude. Close to, I would say.
Yeah. For a pet, that's fucking huge.
That's fucking insane. Resistances was 30 to 90 armor and MR. Now it's 30 to 90, and you guessed it, has a 5% AP ratio now.
She got
so it
everything
scales
as
a
an
little
AP
bit harder.
ratio.
And then finally, the movement speed at all ranks was 350. Now it is scaling 350 to 400. I think overall I think it's a buff. Just if you take it.
Oh no, for sure. They're giving her free level 1. They're giving her a stronger Tibbers to scale later in the game, and then they're giving her a magic thorn. She's the only one I think that has like a magic thorns that returns damage on spell cast. So that's really, I think, really important, really good, really strong for the champion. Will she be played a lot is the next question. I feel like she could play decently well into like a Silas, someone who likes to swing around.
I do not want to give Silas the Tibbers.
I mean, nobody does, but also at least he can't put the shield on Tibbers.
That's true.
So
that's true.
I think Tibbers spawns with the shield, but that's only one hit, so he won't be able to put it on anybody else. But
all right,
yeah. J4's next up here. I like this change that's coming. It's interesting. So the base armor is increased. The W cooldown is decreased. The shield strength now scales with AD.
Thank fucking God.
And the shield duration is decreased. So no longer will you see Tank Jarvan on the Rift. No longer. Let me explain. Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say his shield His W sucks ass
It's
because it
awful.
didn't scale with anything.
No, it didn't scale with anything. But people will build Tank Jarvan, but the base stats for his base armor, he's going up by 2, so from 34 to 36.
Okay.
The gold Aegis or Aegis or however you say it is scaling down cooldown by 1 second from 9 to 8. The shield duration is scaling down by 1 second from 5 to 4, but the shield strength. So they're adding the bonus AD ratio, 80% bonus AD. If you're not building like Gore Drinker or Duskblade or a fucking AD bruiser item on this champion, you're trolling. You're fucking trolling. I don't know how else to put it. You're fucking trolling.
Let me see what this dude's
don't
base
even
AD is.
Don't even think about Radiant Virtue. Just please build the early game J4 damage build and heal with Gore Drinker or whatever.
So
But
his
stop
base,
trolling.
I'm trying to think like maybe like Bruiser would probably be good. Like yeah, Gore Drinker. His base AD is 64. Is that high?
That's low.
That's low. I was trying to see if like Sterix would be good on him, but
What does base AD scale to? Because Sterix could be good.
121.
I think that's kind of high.
I think it would be. I think Sterix would be pretty good on him. There's not a lot of champions I think that item is good on.
It tends to be pretty good on him. Let me see if I can.
I'm just trying to like I see bonus AD and I'm like okay, well what are some bruiser items and Sterix?
So Zyra's base AD is 53, the highest base AD in the.
It's not like a
Damn
Lowy.
it. Why did it fucking not give me? This website sucks. It's not.
Or maybe like Gangplank's up there.
Just a 60. No, 61. Okay, 68 from Camille, 69 from Cho.
Well, yeah, you ain't building.
Yeah, 64. So that's not bad. You could build that. But now when you look at the actual like the value at 18 is a fucking difference. Like Alistair's got 125 at level 18. Senna's base AD doesn't change. Okay, so the highest at level 18 is Meganar. Then Alawi at 153. Meganar's 158 and a half. Alawi's 153. Darius 149. J4
It's
is
121.
actually, yeah, he's rather low on the list, so he may not be the best Eric's Gage builder, but that shield coupled with his shield might not hurt. And because does Sterix, when it pops, does it give you bonus AD? I don't remember what it does.
It's Lifeline. It's a Lifeline passive.
Right. I don't remember what it's.
I think
Lifeline
it gives you. It might give you Vamp.
I know it gives that and a shield. Let's see.
Yeah, we're looking.
Oh god, why the fuck did that not pop?
So
up?
it
Try that
gives
again.
you gain bonus attack damage equal to 50% of your base AD. If you take damage, that
That's
would
it,
reduce
yeah.
you below 30% of your maximum HP. Gain a shield equal to 80% of your health that decays over 4.5 seconds. Let me look at Lifeline.
50% of your base AD though is about 60, right? Yeah, that's about
At
60
level
for
18.
At level 18. That's really not terrible. And you put that back into the 80% of that is that 45 or 50?
Something, yeah.
So yeah, you put that back into the W. That's actually not a bad purchase. Not a bad purchase. You're already getting a shield. You can drop another shield right on top of that. That's actually not a bad purchase. It would be like a last item purchase, but
Now,
that's when you're trying to round out your build anyways. So
on the flip side, this kind of makes me nervous that we might see like Duskblade Jarvan.
Dustblade. Oh, you're 100% gonna see Dustblade Jarvan. That's what I'm.
That's a
Dustblade
massive
or
shield.
Eclipse. I could see Eclipse too.
It might be good. That might be good.
You drop in, you slide through with the flag and drag, and then you turn on auto attack. You have a fat shield there, and then you use your W for another fat shield. Yeah, that could be disgusting. So.
Also to note, I believe Jarvan's shield strength increases based on how many people he hits with it.
Is it hits or in the area? Is it hits? It
I
might
think
be hits.
I'm
I don't
checking
remember.
right now.
You might be right.
I want to say it's how many he hits.
I think you're right.
And then I think we've talked on Jarvan way too long, but I just want to know that.
Right.
Golden Aegis. Increased by 1.3% of his maximum health for each enemy champion hit.
Oh, 1.3% ain't that much though.
But his max health. So if you have Gore Drinker, Sterix Gage, Deadman, if you're sitting at like 4,000 HP,
400.
If you can get a 5-man W, that might look sizable.
Right. The 4-second shield. Yeah, it might look pretty decent if you can get everybody in it. You hit the ulti. You're probably going to get 2 or 3 man most commonly. So
Okay,
about.
I like this. I've always
Yeah.
felt like that W was fucking dog shit, but
they mentioned it in this whole thing. So his W has been awful. Intentionally kept underwhelming. It has been a great defensive spell for low economy junglers.
Intentionally got it. Okay.
Yep. So
All right, let's move on to Cassante.
give it to me.
All right. This is a champion I feel like is kind of like Rise, where Rise is kind of busted right now, but like Rise, I feel like is a pro play design champion.
Oh, 100%.
And I feel like Cassante is a pro play style champion because a lot of the time these players, like, I think his win rate is dog shit in pro play, but teams still pick him. That's because pro play is way different than solo queue, and teams know how to like effectively use these champions even if they're losing on them. But let's see.
Right.
Base health increased, Q knockup and stun duration decreased, W minimum stun duration decreased, R bonus resistances lost increased. Okay, so it sounds like a nerf overall, but let's see.
Oh, yeah, totally.
Health growth was 108, now it is 114. The Q3 knockup duration was 1 second, now it's 0.65 seconds. Wow. And then the Q3 stun duration was 1 to 1.25. Now it is just 1. Can I just ask why does an ability need a knockup and a stun?
Yeah, I don't know because the
I think-
knockup
Actually,
is coded as a stun. So
I think Vi's ult is a knockup and a stun. So never mind, I'll shut up.
is it?
I'm pretty sure.
No, I was just trying to. I don't want to go there.
It's okay. We don't need
That's
to
a
go on any
rabbit
more
hole.
tangents.
Yeah, that's a rabbit hole.
W minimum stun duration was 0.35 to 0.75 seconds. Now it is 0.3 to 0.5 seconds. And then the R resistances lost was 65% bonus resistances. Now it is 85% bonus resistance. So that's pretty big. Of course, when you ulti, you're looking to fight. You get a lot of AD, but now you're going to be losing a lot more resistances, and I feel like that might gut him pretty good.
Yeah, part of the problem is like he's still actually rather tanky. When even losing 65% of his bonus resistances, he's still rather tanky. So yeah, just increasing how much he loses is actually probably good for the game. So I don't have anything else really to add to that. I mean, I think he's really fucking strong in pro hands and has a hard time carrying in non-pro hands. So
Right.
that's just what it is, I think.
All right.
Kassadin, next on the list. Funnily enough, Aslor was actually talking about Kassadin today, talking about that this champion should probably never be at a 50% win rate because he's fucking when he's at 50%, he's fucking broken. When he's below 50%, there's it takes a lot more skill to play the champion, if that makes sense. So
Right. I know he was saying like this champion has that niche of being he should be anti-mage.
yeah,
And like people are picking him because he's very strong. Just
right.
any champion that can build Rod of Ages and Seraphs is very OP right now.
I agree. I agree.
Oh, on the other hand, in our elo, people don't realize what fucking happens when Kassadin hits level 16, so they like to give up way earlier in the game. Kassadin's a fucking ticking time bomb because having a flash that does damage on a like quarter-second cooldown is fucking broken. And they don't realize scaling champions like this exist, and they'd rather give up. But let's find
people
out.
forfeit too early in League is the only thing I will mention on that end. Like it's very easy. People just give up. It's like, bro, we haven't even got to a team fight yet. Like our team is better. But again, another rabbit hole. Let's throw that rabbit hole aside. Kassadino, E base damage decreased. Cooldown reduction from nearby casts decreased. R base damage decreased. Bonus damage per stack decreased. So, even after his nerfs last patch, Kassadin continues to Kassa win. Freak definitely fucking wrote that. So the E Force Pulse base damage was 80 to 180, and it had 85% AP ratio. It's now 60 to 180 with an 85% ratio. back to more scaling. The cooldown from nearby cast was 1 second. You're now only going to get 3/4 of a second back on the cooldown, which really, I don't think is that terrible.
No, it's no big deal.
Rift Walk, the ulti. So it was 80 to 120 with a 40% AP ratio, plus 2% max mana. They're dropping that base to 70 to 110, so only 10 at each rank, so it's not terrible. It's just a little bit of damage. And the bonus damage per stack is also going to get hit here by 5 at each rank. So it was 40 to 60 with a 10% AP and 1% max mana additional damage. It's now 35 to 55 with the same ratios. So these are small nerfs. These are not designed to eradicate the champion, but more or less to bring him down a peg.
Yep.
Or 2 or 5.
I like it. Speaking of another ticking time bomb of a champion, Kale.
Oh, fuck. Yeah.
Passive bonus move speed increased. E on hit AP scaling increased. Missing health damage increased. All right, so we went from nerfing a late game champion to buffing a late game champion. Passive, the exalted bonus movement speed was 8%. Now it is 10%. It's a little bit quicker. And then the E passive on hit was 15 to 35 with 10% bonus AD and 20% AP scaling. It is going to keep the same base, and the bonus AD ratio, but the AP ratio is getting bumped up by another 5. Again, I like small buffs. You do not want this champion to get out of control.
Right.
And another champion. Do not forfeit if this champion is. Well, maybe forfeit if you think it's that done, but like if your Kale's level 15, let that motherfucker get 16 and do one more fight.
Find out if the player actually sucks or if it's the champion before you just forfeit. The same thing with Kassadin. Like sometimes the player's just not good, and that's fair. That's fine. It happens. Give them the opportunity to show you that they're not good before you just quit. I don't have anything else to add to that, though, so We'll move down to Kanye. Kayn here. Passive Shadow Assassin damage increased. QAD scaling increased. Just what I don't want to fucking see is the Shadow Assassin Kayn. I fucking hate this champion. I hate seeing him on the Rift. I think we're in for more Kayn. So Shadow Kayn hasn't been the terror in the shadows that he once was, suffering particularly hard in lower skill brackets. God damn it, Riot. So the passive, the Darkened Scythe, the Shadow Assassin bonus. This is what it was. It was 13 to 40% based on level of post-mitigation damage to champions is repeated as magic damage for the first 3 seconds of damaging champions. That is getting buffed up to 15 to 45%. Everything else is the same. The Q Reaping Slash. The physical damage was 75 to 155 with a 65% bonus AD ratio. It's going to keep the same base, but you're going to get an extra 15% bonus AD added to that for an 80% bonus AD ratio. Note that this will not affect Rost's damage as he has separate Q values.
All right.
So Rost is specifically not getting a buff, only Shadow Assassin. So fuck me on that. Right. Bring it up to the another Azlor special right here.
Yeah,
dude.
LeBlanc. A mana regeneration and mana regeneration growth increase. Q mana cost now flat at all ranks. R cooldown decreased early. All right. Mana regen was 6. Now it is 8, of course, per 5 seconds. Mana regeneration growth was 0.8, and that is moving up to 1. Q, Sigil of Malice. Mana cost was 55 to 70. Now it is flat 50 at all ranks. Wonderful. And then the R Mimic cooldown was 60 to 30. Now it is 50 to 30. I like it.
Yeah. I get the feeling we're going to start seeing some more assassins. So ADC friends, you guys got a lot of damage. It very much seems like they have more or less reverted the durability patch from last year. So
wow, surprising. Surprise!
It's
Pikachu.
Almost like they've been doing this fucking slowly over time, and we've been mentioning it every time we noticed it because the power creep is real in League of Legends. All right, peace in. QAD ratio increased. E Base damage decreased. Slow increased, though.
All right.
Lee Sin rarely gets to be strong in the hands of us mere mortals since his skill cap is so high. Can confirm this champion can be very difficult to play well. Excuse me. Sorry you guys had to hear that. Q Sonic Wave / Resonating Strike. The Sonic Wave physical damage was 55 to 155 with 100% bonus AD. The only thing that's changing here is they're adding 10% bonus AD to that ratio. The Resonating Strike minimum physical damage is going to be the same. The maximum damage is still double the value of the minimum damage, so I don't need to read you those numbers again. You just heard them. The E Tempest / Cripple. Total damage was 100 to 220 plus 100% bonus AD. It's not getting a fat fucking nerf. 35 to 155 plus 100% bonus AD. Which means you're not going to see Lane Lee Sin. That was the big thing. If you went Lane Lee Sin, you maxed E for AoE damage and clear. But the slow is going up at later ranks. It was 20 to 60%. It's now 20 to 80%.
Can I just...
You were going to say something.
I was going to say, I just scrolled back up because I was like, I wonder what nerf or what skill range this change is targeted to. Lee Sin's not even on the fucking highlight.
Of course he's not.
I was like, wait, where the fuck?
Of course he isn't. But
that slow though, 80% is pretty good.
I mean, in fairness, at the end of the game, he's probably not doing much anyways, other than kicking you back into your team. So yeah, he needs something. So give him the slow. Fuck it. All right, doing damage to that ability. So
no, exactly. All right, Trundle. W cooldown decreased at all ranks. Discovered his passion for dancing. I saw this one. This one's great. The W Frozen Domain cooldown was 18 to 14 seconds. Now it is 16 to 12 seconds. And then important information. Trundle's dance speed now scales with Trundle's movement speed. So, you throw down that Frozen Domain and you get the movement speed boost. And you fucking spam that dance, motherfucker.
I just love that
Huge buff.
Says... It's got I don't know if you noticed this, but the little blurb in front of it is the old Captain Falcon taunt. Show me your moves! Oh, shit. Zach! Everyone's fucking least favorite champion right now. Zach! WAP scaling decreased. EAP scaling decreased.
There you go.
So, what have we been talking about with this champion?
He's
absolutely
OP.
Busted. Yeah. If you guys didn't know that, catch our last episode on Navori Quick Blades and IE. Zach shows up in that episode quite a number of times. So we are looking here. The Unstable Matter, the W, keeping the base damage, which was 35 to 95, plus 4 to 8%, plus 4% per 100 AP of target's max health. That last part is changing, so it's keeping the 35 to 95 plus the 4 to 8% plus is instead of 4%, it's going to be 3% per 100 AP of target's max health. Again, you're not building a whole lot of AP, but you are building Demonic Embrace, which is at least going to give you 100 AP by the time you factor in his max health bonus AP and the 75 AP that you get from that item already.
Mm-hmm.
So very easy to hit that 100 AP cap. You're probably only going to hit it once, though. If you have 200 AP, you're doing something weird.
Mm-hmm.
Elastic Slingshot. The magic damage base is going to drop. It was 60 to 260, and it had a 90% AP ratio. It's now going to be 60 to 240 with an 80% AP ratio. So small little nerf on damage there. Not huge. I think the Unstable Matter is probably the bigger part here. It's going to slow down his clear speed for sure.
Definitely. So that is it for... Well, it's not it for champion, because they have a bunch of support, like, in a whole different section.
Melee supports, yeah. It's in a different section, but I think it makes sense for once in Riot's life.
So we'll move on to items. And the first one, Radiant Virtue. And
we knew it was coming.
It's a very strong item right now. Go watch our video. We had a gameplay about talking about how OP that is.
That's the one with Rafiki holding the Radiant Virtue up, guys.
So, Blurb says Radiant Virtue is currently overpowered. yet its strength isn't really appreciable due to how unclear the item's best impactful, or excuse me, due to how unclear the item's best points are. So let's see. Total costs going up by 200 gold, 3,000 to 3,200. Passive, Guiding Light cooldown, 60 seconds to 90 seconds. The Guiding Light cooldown maximum health gain is going up from 10% to 15%.
Wow.
The total healing was 8 to 16% max health over 9 seconds. Includes healing amp damage or passive. Now it is 12% maximum health over 9 seconds. So it's getting a nice little right in the middle, little sweet spot.
Strong
But
early, weaker late. Yep.
It is the ability haste aspect where you give your allies 20 ability haste for the duration is going bye-bye. Which
I'm okay
I
with that.
don't think was... I that wasn't the first thing that come to mind when I thought of this item being used. I will say they were fucking around with making this item an active, which I kind of would have liked, because sometimes you accidentally use like
your ulti for
if we're talking about like
or...
Udyr, Karma.
Yeah.
But they decided not to go with that. That's fine. 200 gold more, 30 seconds longer, and then a kind of a evening out on the total healing is kind of. But I mean, the maximum health gain another 5%. So your champion is getting a lot more health, or 5%,
for sure,
5% more health. But
go ahead.
No, I'd say it's obviously it's overall it's a nerf.
No, for sure is, and actually what I like, and I think the big reason they took off the ability haste was with the emergence of quick blades. Sure. I mean, like, how broken is it to have a Braum Lucian bot lane where Lucian is rushing quick blade's second item and Braum has Radiant Virtue and he has spells up fucking every goddamn second. Like, that's fucking busted, and that shouldn't happen. So, right, saying it shouldn't happen, it's not going to happen by nerfing that. I think that's huge. So
I might stop building this on every jungler now.
Well, I think it still has a place on your tankier junglers. It's definitely gonna lose a place on your bruisier.
Yeah, I was like, I'd probably still do it on Sejuani.
For sure. For sure. Sejuani, or even a jungler that uses their ulti as sort of a counterattack or a... I don't know if I'd call it an escape, but like I think it's still good on Zac.
No, for sure.
Example.
I was gonna say that. I think Zac's still fine with it.
Yeah, because Zac's not engaging with his ulti. Sejuani's tough because she engages with her ulti, so you're not getting the cooldown, but you are getting that early healing that's going to mitigate some of the damage that's coming in, I guess is the best way to put that. So That's a thing. You have to kind of juggle that around, figure out what works and what doesn't. But
I might be able to switch back to Jak'Sho though.
Jak'Sho. No, I think that's probably better for Sejuani, actually, thinking about it. But I guess we'll have to test it and see what feels good. Next up on the list, Umbral Glaive. I like this change a lot. So, cooldown's getting nerfed by 10 seconds. It was a 40-second cooldown. It's going up to 50 seconds. And here is the kicker. Ranged champions only take 2 damage off of a ward, while melees still deal 3 damage to a ward. I think that's fucking huge. I think that's important. I think we talked about this, actually. Making melees do less.
Right.
Or not melees, making range do less and keeping the buff for melees. Because, like, how broken is it for Graves? Because he's like a melee ranged champion, if that makes sense. Like, he has no fucking range, but he's considered ranged. So he gets to kill these wards for free, and it's fucking bullshit. The other thing that's nice is the Umbral Glaive does not instantly kill traps, but it still reveals them, and I think that's important as well.
I'd be curious if they make an AP version of this item, because I feel like
I actually hope not.
It kind of feels bad if you're like playing, or even like an enchanter, and you're setting. I mean, we're seeing all these fucking range AD support, like ADCs becoming supports, and they're building this. Obviously, It's getting nerfed, but yeah,
you can't keep fucking wards on the map. It fucking sucks, dude. It's so fucking annoying. It's like, oh yeah, I've got my whole jungle warded out, so I'm fine, and then it's like,
just kidding.
Fuck you. Yeah, it fucking sucks. It actually drives me fucking batty. So I'm glad it's getting hit with something hard like that. So cool.
Moving on, runes. Overheal. Did see this
So
one. This one's pretty big. Shield value was 10 plus 9% maximum health. The scaling, the percentage is going away. Now it's just a flat 200 or 20 to 300 based on champion level. Says, note, this is a buff from level 5 onwards. This makes sense to me.
no
Since
one really takes this that often.
I was, well, sure, but I mean, because ADCs aren't building health.
Sure.
So they're not going to have, so that 9%,
Sure.
if an ADC, I mean, I don't want to, I keep getting sidetracked to open up LOL Wiki to look at shit, but I mean, now couple this with the Bloodthirster changes where the shield got buffed. I know I was talking to, I think I was talking to Jazzy, maybe I was talking to Purple. There are, from what I can think of, there are two champions that could possibly benefit going like Bloodthirster first, Draven and maybe Misfortune, just because they have their maybe it was you I was talking to. Was it you? No. Anyways, they have these passives, Misfortune with their passive and Draven with their Q, where they have, their auto attacks are enhanced. They're going to be able to get this fucking shielding. It's going to be way more value because it's, I think this might be a contender.
Oh, no, for
start
sure.
Using.
I think this rune also works uniquely well with champions that want to use fleet footwork as well. I actually think it could put fleet footwork back on the map of a rune to choose. Like, I know Caitlyn still does really well with fleet footwork, you know what I mean? So she could totally build the lifesteal AD rune, and then she's probably building Bloodthirster anyways. So she actually can get, like, obviously we know the synergy between Overheal and Bloodthirster, but the other healing aspects that can contribute, I think, are going to also be chosen more likely. And I'm wondering if that's why they're kind of reverting some of the durability or adding damage, because you're going to add the lifesteal aspect on it as well. So
I don't think I would go. You were saying shield bow?
no.
The lifesteal stacking. Rune?
Yeah, is
Okay.
it Legend Bloodstone? Is it
Yeah,
Bloodstone?
Yeah. Okay. Sorry, I thought I got confused. I was like, I think you have to take Gale Force on Caitlyn no
Gale
matter
Force
what.
for the execute for sure. But
Well,
there's
and
other
to get
champions
away.
that might use fleet footwork. Like Jin still, I think, performs well with fleet footwork. And he's another contender that now is going to probably assuredly build Bloodthirster and could take this. So this is in what else is in this tree?
So it's either fleet, lethal tempo, press the attack, overheal, triumph, or presence of mind.
Triumph and Presence of Mind. Yeah,
I
so
feel
Overheal
Triumph-
was like really not chosen between those other compared to those two. I feel like so.
I feel like triumph is, there have been so many times where like I've died before the triumph heal kicks in, and I'm
That's
like,
true.
why am I taking this?
Yeah,
You know?
they should change Triumph instead of like one big chunk heal. Maybe it should be like over time,
Oh, okay, I like that. That kind of sounds interesting.
kind of like a potion instead of like because Triumph wasn't give you like 200 health or something like that.
It's I think it's a percentage of your.
Okay, yeah. So you give it to me over time, like it's like a potion, and I think that makes it a little bit more fair. So if someone's got ignite on you, you're not just like chunked up, you're good. It's like, well, you're actively battling that ignite, or I don't know. I think it just makes it better to play with, but they're probably not gonna touch that one for a while. So melee supports, we can run through some of these because there's not much to talk about. Too much to talk about here because they're all here for the same reason, and the reason is that everyone's playing range supports. Obviously, solo queue is about 2-to-1 range to melee supports, but pro is, they're saying 20-to-1 or more than 20-to-1 ratio of range supports to melee supports. So they need to fix that. And a lot of those range supports are enchanters, but obviously right now you're seeing Caitlyn support,
ADCs,
Jhin
yeah.
support, Ashe support. So clearly they need to fix something. So we got a bunch here. I'll run through the first two, and you can grab the next two, and
Yep.
we'll go like that.
Okay.
Alistair getting a self-heal change here. So he was 23 to 142 based on level. It's now 5% of his max health. and his ally heal was 46 to 284 based on level. It's 6% of Alistair's max health.
I like it.
The Pulverize is getting a mana cost decrease by 5. It was 55 to 75. It's now 50 to 70. And he's getting 20% added to the magic damage done on the AP ratio. So it was 60 to 220 with 50% ratio. It's now going to have a 70% ratio. Headbutt is also getting the mana cost buff as well. It was 65 to 85. It's now 50 to 70. So that's pretty big, 15 at all ranks. And the magic damage is also going to get a 20% AP ratio buff. It's 55 to 275. It's now going to be 90% AP ratio. And then his E, the Trample, is going to get a mana cost buff as well and an AP ratio buff. Mana cost was 50 to 90. It's now 50 to 70. And the total magic damage was 80 to 200 plus 40% AP. It's now 80 to 200 plus 70% AP. So big buffs there in the AP department. You may build a Demonic Embrace on this champion. Probably will build Demonic. Why wouldn't you, actually?
I would not buy that.
It's expensive as fuck, but you know what?
It's only benefiting me.
Let's go, Alistair. Let's go. We'll move on to Bromski's. Bromski's passive concussive blows, the target immunity duration. So it was 864 seconds at levels 1, 7, and 13. It's now 864 seconds at levels 1, 6, and 11. So it's going to come off cooldown just that much sooner in the game for you. The Q Winter's Bite cooldown was 10 to 6 seconds. It's now 8 to 6 seconds. I think that's fucking huge. Although he still has a mana problem in lane, so that might not change too much. I think this next one's the bigger kicker. Is the W, the Stand Behind Me, which is the Leap. The bonus armor and magic resist was 10 to 26. It's now 20 to 40.
Big.
That's huge. I think that's really fucking huge, actually. You're still going to max Q, but you probably max the second.
Well, I mean,
also,
yeah.
Go ahead.
I was saying, just getting double right off level 1 is big.
Oh, yeah. Fucking huge. And then just to note, I still think that him jumping with the shield in his hand looks like a fucking wolf's head for some reason, but that has nothing to do with anything. Tell me about the next two we got here, the hookers.
Right. Nautilus. Passive bonus damage was 8 to 110 based on level. Now it is 14 to 116 based on level. Okay, nothing crazy there. W mana cost, here's our first issue. Its cooldown, not mana cost, is 10 to 6 seconds. Now it is 8 to 6 seconds. Okay. Shield strength was 40 to 80 with a scaling of 8 to 12% of his max HP. Now it is 50 to 90, keeping the same scaling on the max HP. And then the E magic damage was 55 to 175 with a 30% AP ratio. Now it is staying the same, or it's going to get a small buff late, 55 to 195 with a 50% AP ratio. So that feels nice. You going to build Demonic on him too?
Yeah, fuck it. You know what? In fairness, at least he has more opportunity. Actually, no, him and Alistair have the same opportunity to proc it. So,
Pike, the E physical damage, 105 to 225 with 100% bonus AD. Now it is 105 to 265, keeping the same 100% bonus AD.
Yeah, I don't know that he needed damage to that ability, actually. Yeah. I think it should take damage off of that ability almost entirely, but fuck me, right? Okay, I'll take Rakan and Thresh, and then there's the next big blurb. That's all you.
Sweet.
That's a big-ass blurb. Rakan. Q, Gleaming Quill, cooldown was 12 to 8. It's now going to be 11 to 7, so a little bit actually healing early. And the mana cost is going down, which is actually huge, from 60 to 45. The base heal is also going to go up. And it's only in the base part here. So it was 30 to 115 based on Rakan's level. With the 55% AP ratio, it's now 40 to 210 based on level. The last part's fucking huge.
I'll take that because that heal sucks.
That heal's fucking trash, but 210 is fucking huge, and then you're going to keep that 55% AP ratio. So, yeah, I don't know really the point of that ability because it doesn't do anything for anybody because it's trash. And the W Grand Entrance, the magic damage is shifting to an AP ratio. So it was 70 to 290 with a 70% AP ratio. It's gonna be 70 to 270, but with an 80% AP ratio. You gonna build demonic on him too?
Tell me about Thresh.
My boy here, he's getting some much needed love here. So the death sentence is getting a fat AP ratio increase and a slight base damage increase. So magic damage was 100 to 260 with a 50% AP ratio. It's now going to be 100 to 280 with an 80% AP ratio. Note, Thresh's AP ratio can be interpreted as 0.8 damage per soul, unless you're going AP Thresh. But you do you, friend. Dark Passage, the lantern that everyone doesn't like to take, the shield per soul. So you would scale the shield would scale per soul. It was 2 shield, I guess. That's a really funky thing to say.
I don't understand. It's confusing.
You would. This isn't proofreading. It's a very weird syntax. So you would get 2 to your shield for every soul that you had.
Because that's just
So
an
if you had
additional...
100 souls, you'd get 200 bonus to your shield.
Because it has its own. It has other stats. I'm assuming it scales
Yes.
with AP. But this is just...
I don't think so. I think it only scales off of the soul, but it has a base stat as well. But they're nerfing that, so you're gonna get half a point less. So it's gonna be 1.5 instead of 2. That you're gonna get per soul. So if you have 100 souls, you're only gonna get an extra 150 instead of 200 to that shield.
Okay.
And lastly is the Flay, the E. The magic damage was 75 to 215 with a 40% AP ratio.
Oh, here we go, baby.
They fucked up on this. It's a 60% AP ratio is what they're changing. It's going to keep it 75 to 215. It says same note applies here. This will result in a 0.6 damage per soul, which tells me it's a 60% AP ratio instead of a 40% AP ratio. So you're going to get more out of your souls. They're just throwing it into damage and taking it off of defense. So a Thresh should be played aggressively. So this is good for Thresh. Really good for Thresh.
All right, let's talk about Tenacity.
Yep, last 2 blurbs.
This one will be a little confusing. Let's see. Over the years, Tenacity sources have increased dramatically. We want to streamline how these effects interact with each other as a cleanup to an old system and provide some clarity on which systems stack well and which don't. With these changes, almost all Tenacity effects will stack multiplicatively, net weaker together. Makes sense, as opposed to the previous system where various systems sometimes stacked extremely well to nullify crowd control. Tenacity sources within the same group will stack multiplicatively with each other. Tenacity sources from separate groups will stack additively with each other. Okay, so Merc Treads.
What the fuck does that mean?
Merc Treads, Anathemas, Elixir of Iron, Iceborne Gauntlet. Does that give you... Oh, wait, is the passive...
Yeah.
Okay. Iceborne Gauntlet, Legend Tenacity, Unflinching, Moss Stomper, Chem Tech Dragon. These are all in the same, so they will stack multiplicatively, so they will scale worse if you stack them. Group B, Silvermere Dawn active, Cleanse, and then mode buffs, which I don't give a shit. And then Group C, Brittle, Orin W. That one I'm not sure on. And then Courage that Garen gets from his W. Brittle? What does that have to do with Tenacity?
I
Is it when he... Wait, hold on.
Yeah. Does he get Tenacity for rendering people brittle?
No, I don't know. Let me see.
Oh, and then look up Orin.
I'm looking right now. Because I know... Reducing his movement speed by 30... Oh, so he slows himself.
Okay.
But it's nothing else other than that. So does it have to do with the slowing?
Oh, he just slows himself less if he has... Or doesn't slow himself as long if he has Tenacity? Maybe that's what it is? I don't know.
It makes sense. Well, yeah, if they're in a different group, then that makes sense.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Okay, so that's pretty good for him.
Cool.
Okay. And then...
Jungle adjustment.
Yeah, this looks like a lot.
We'll just hit each little piece here. I don't want to fucking spend too much time. We've already got you guys to an hour at this point. So, okay. So income. Big thing here. Treat income currently rewards champions that gank more than champions that prefer to farm. Ideally, both playstyles are viable, so we're tipping the scales to be a bit more balanced. Gold per treat was 30. It's now going to be 20. Experience per jungle camp with a companion. Experience for clearing a jungle camp has been increased by 5 XP per camp.
Okay.
Vision. Early vision has been proven to deter early ganks in the past, especially in high skill levels. While we don't want to go back to giving teams permanent map visibility, we do think some extra vision early could help curb the amount of early ganks currently happening on live. Given you'll have 2 players in the bot lane, this should be a safe way to introduce more vision, leveraging the dual lane's unique strengths. I'm just telling you from a low elo standpoint,
No one
the
wards.
ADC never fucking uses their goddamn ward. Like I don't understand. I will never understand why as a support, like I usually ward right as we're going back to leash, and my ADC doesn't place a ward at any point before then or after then until like 5 fucking minutes, and it makes me want to stick my fist through the fucking screen and wring that player's neck, because use your it's free. Use it. It'll be up by 5 minutes again. Just use the goddamn
Especially
thing.
when you're on blue side and you're, say, if you're support and if you don't ward Tribush,
That
I know
fucking Tribush, dude.
you in particular
I
ward
have
that.
to.
But-
I have to, because I can't rely on anybody else to.
Yeah, so then your ADs, if that's not warded, you sure as hell know that your AD isn't gonna fucking ward. They're gonna walk up to that Tribush, and then a Blitzcrank is gonna fucking fist them, and they're gonna die, and they're gonna blame you. And yeah, so fucking ward.
Please, just if you play ADC, use your fucking ward. It's there. It's free. It's there for a reason. So what they're doing, the stealth ward trinket cooldown was 240 to 120 based on average champ level. It's now 210 to 120 based on average champ level. So 30 seconds less earlier. Use your fucking wards. God damn it. Ganking success. With the same intent of deterring large amount of early ganks, we're upping early tower damage so that the benefits of early dives also come with an appropriate level of risk. As a reminder, turret shots ramp up in damage by 40% per shot against the same target. So, turret damage.
They made a mistake
is-
here, but
Yeah, they did.
it's 3.
Yeah, it was 192 to 344 from 0 to 14 minutes. It's now 182 to 350 from 0 to 14 minutes. So, early, it's a little bit weaker. Later, at 14 minutes, it's a tad bit stronger. So I don't think it's huge. I don't know that's going to deter too much, but like it might change like a level 5 tower dive or level 6 tower dive. So
I do appreciate the fact that they feel like whenever they talk about turrets, they have to remind people that turret shots ramp. So it's 40%.
Yes.
I believe it caps out at 120%. So 3 shots.
yes, yep,
Yeah, turrets hurt.
they fucking hurt, especially early. They really fucking hurt. So bear that in mind. And it's consecutive shots. So if you shed that turret damage and you're able to juggle it, it doesn't do so much. But if you just tank it by yourself, you're getting fucking pounded. Lastly here, I'm not going to read the whole blurb, but smite fights are for champions. Jungle companions can no longer deal lethal damage to epic monsters. Why that was a thing, I don't fucking know. I think this makes perfect fucking sense. That's how the game should play.
I mean, if to be fair, if you let an enemy champion or enemy jungler come up and take dragon and you don't smite it, because that thing doesn't do that much damage. The jungle creep does, or your buddy doesn't do that much. So if you're letting that thing last hit a dragon, that's your fucking fault. But this is just a little extra clarity, I guess.
You could be Morgana stunned too far away, and then
true.
ultied, and then Bard ultied. I don't know. Other than that,
Let's talk about here competitive. This one looks good.
Oh yeah,
This one was interesting. Our data shows that comeback rates when a team fails a 4 to 5 early surrender before 20 minutes are low. So they are changing this. In blind pick, they're of course not testing this in ranked yet. In blind pick and normal draft, normal surrender, 4 out of 5 or 70% of team must agree to pass the vote, is available at 20 minutes. Now that is going to 15 minutes. So
no more unanimous early surrender. I like that.
So that's fine, because there's sometimes, there's people that are fucking trolling. If the score is 1 to 60 and some dumbass on your team is holding your hostage, it's very frustrating. Just move on.
Yeah.
And I think it's fine if they're testing it in non-ranked queues. And then, unrelated to the above, the MMR duo restriction for Apex ranks has been re-enabled. I'm assuming that's high elo.
I would think
Apex
so.
ranks? What the fuck is Apex ranks?
Well, Apex is the tip top, so I gotta think it's gotta be Master, Grandmaster.
Oh, I think they
yeah, because you couldn't duo once you get up there. Yeah, you.
Or I think
no
it was they were allowing it for this like first month. Okay. And then made matchmaking adjustments for faster normal blind pick queue times. No one gives a shit because no one plays blind pick. Why would you play blind pick?
There's one thing that wasn't in here that I did see on Twitter, and I don't remember who posted it, so I'm not sure if it's troll.
Okay.
But they said that Senna on this patch is going to be able to flash W again.
Oh, I did see that. That was August, I think.
I think it was August. That's why I don't know if it was troll or not.
I wonder if it's in...
Because August is sometimes hard to tell. I was looking for it in the bug, but I didn't see it anywhere. Maybe if I Control F.
You type in Senna. Okay.
Oh, there it is. There it is. Fix an interaction so that Senna can now flash to reroute her W.
Okay. That's pretty cool.
That's in the bug fixes there. So cool. That was the only thing I noticed of note.
I know. So the Ari ASU is coming out. She looks cool, awesome, better voice lines. And then I know a lot of people were complaining about Jack's animations, and it was kind of weird seeing his like
alt
animation.
It was bad. Right.
So they fixed a bunch of that
those.
stuff. It's good to know. I don't know if I've see any interesting bug fixes.
No, but I do want to mention that Heartache Amumu kind of looks like TPA Nunu. Or
the color
I guess
scheme.
Willump. The eyes and the color scheme, it kind of looks like Willump and TPA Nunu. Just throw that out there.
I do like if you open up the Vi
good.
and Caitlyn one, you can look in the background. Is
that Echo?
I don't know because he's white.
That's true.
That would be an
Can't
interesting.
tell.
I don't know if that's Jinx or Sona. I was gonna say Jinx.
What, the
just because-
pigtails?
Yeah.
I don't think it's Jinx.
The only reason I think it's Jinx is just because Vi's in the image. But the face does not look like Sona.
Kind of looks like
Or Zeri?
Kaisa. Oh, it could be Zeri. It kind of looks like Kaisa, but it could be Zeri. And it looks like Talia right behind Caitlyn there.
And then I think Garen.
Garen. Yeah, it has to be Garen. If that's not Garen, bro, I'm punching somebody.
I know a lot of people are like,
you know what? I bet you that's a collie. That kind of looks like a collie. I just don't know who the guitar player is. I rescind thinking it was Echo. It was only Echo thinking because of the Mohawk. But
there's no shot. You know how many people? No, there's no shot. That's Echo. I know the Mohawk, but
are any of these besides Garen and Talia Academy champions?
I know there's Academy Echo.
Right, but is there anybody else? I didn't even notice a move at the bottom by Vi's knee. What the fuck?
Yeah, she's like kneeling on him.
Interesting.
I'm stoked for these skins. The chromas, as always, look good.
They do. The chromas look actually really good. I was like a big fan. I was just looking at these. Even actually, the base Vi one looks really good. I like the scribble, the scribble heart over her arm. I think that looks really fucking clean. And it's weird that like Caitlyn doesn't have a match like that because Vi's is so like even Amumu's looks somewhat similar, but he doesn't have that scribble either. So interesting.
That's it, guys.
Very interesting.
Thank you for
Hanging
listening to us for an hour and almost 10 minutes. But yeah, we'll wrap it up here as always. Wherever you're listening right now, first of all, make sure you like, subscribe, follow, review, all that fun stuff. And then hit in the description, hit that link tree, come join our Discord.
Yes.
Again, I'm going to be trying my best to stream as much as possible. And especially since I'm feeling better. I've been having a good time in solo queue too. Last night, Purple and I won a couple games together and it felt really good. But yeah, guys.
And I always say this to you guys, share us with a friend. If you have a friend that plays, and they may not be super hardcore, like we're perfect for that. You don't have to be super hardcore about the game. You want some good, quick news, and some good ideas of what to do. Like, share with a friend. I know you have friends. Go show them what's up.
So, guys, we will be back on Friday for Champion Review. Until then, good luck in your games, and we'll see you on Friday.
Later, y'all.
Thanks for watching, everybody. Make sure to like the video and sub to the channel if you haven't already. Click right here to see the previous episode of the According to Low Elo podcast. Click right here to see the most recent gameplay video. Thanks again.